Jaya Radha Kunjabihari Radha Kunjabihari Radha Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Radha Kunjabihari Radha Kunjabihari Radha Jaya Radha Kunjabihari Radha Kunjabihari Radha Jaya Gaura-Nita 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 Jaya Gaura-Nita Jaya Gaura-Nita 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 Jaya Gaura-Nita Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jai Shri Guru Charana
much, right? Everybody's so overactive here. It's called active foolishness. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Paramore Om Adina Canto 6, chapter 3, text number 24, correct? 24? Yes. Is it on the border for you? Yes. I can't see too well. Maybe somebody else can do the Sanskrit? I'm blind. Nobody can do it? I will. It's pretty good.
एतावतालम अग्नि निर्हरणाय पुंसां संकीर्तनं भगवतो गुणकर्मणाम्ना विकृष्य पुत्रं अघवां यतजा विलोपी नारायणेति प्रियमाण इयाय मुक्तिं
Anybody else want to try?
Kirtanam Bhagavato Gunakarmanam Pushyaputra Bhagavane Dhamilopi Narayane Trimyamana Suraya
What else?
एतावतालमघनिर्हरणाय पुंसां संकीर्तनं भगवतो गुणकर्मनाम्ना विकृष्य पुत्रमघवान् यमाणयाय मुक्तिम्
With this much. Alam. Sufficient. Agrat near. Karan Naya. the restriction of sinful activity. Pumsa, of human beings. Sankartamana, the congregational chanting. Bhagavata, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Guna, of the transcendental quality. Karma, and the names according to his activities and pastimes.
And the names according to his activities and pastimes.
Vikrusya, crying to without offense.
Crying to without offense.
Putra,
His son.
Agarara, the sinful. Yat, sincere. Ajamala, api, even Ajamila. Narayana, of the Lord's name Narayana. Iti,
Thus.
Dying. Yaya, achieved. Mukta. Translation and purport. By His Divine Grace, as He Bhaktivedanta Swami. Like ice cream truck. Translation. Therefore, it should be understood that one is easily relieved from all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name of the Lord and chanting of His qualities and activities. This is the only process recommended for relief from sinful reactions. Even if one chants the holy name of the Lord with improper pronunciation, he will achieve relief from material bondage if he chants without offenses. Ajamil, for example, was extremely sinful, but while dying, he merely chanted the holy names, and although calling his son, he achieved complete liberation because he remembered the names of the lion. Was there another class going on?
Simultaneous translation in Hindi.
I was translating. Okay. So this is a very good news for us because we're chanting, right? But of course, Prabhupada does mention here without offense. So this should be our meditation, how to remove the offenses in chanting the holy name. So we all recite every morning those 10 offenses. Be careful. The 10th offense is difficult to overcome, but we maintain material attachments. We think, well, I'm not going to indulge in these material attachments now because I'm a devotee, but I'm just going to keep them on the side. But in case I change my mind, I can always go back to them. No, we have to see them as stool and renounce them completely. Otherwise, we're maintaining them, just keeping them there on the shelf, so to speak. Yeah. So in order to chant purely, we have to see that this material world is really a place of misery. And there's no scope for happiness. But our mind says, no, if you adjust this, you adjust that, then you can be happy. This is the duty of the mind. And the senses also. They don't like that they're not allowed to have sense gratification. So they push us, pushing up the genital, pushing up the stomach to eat more, right? Pushing up the tongue to taste more, the tongue to talk more. Prabhupada was talking, pointing out, our devotees also, he was on the balcony, they didn't see him. And the ladies were there, chit-chatting. He said, they're inviting the snake to come and swallow them. That example is given. Ramakata. We're just wasting our time talking. Very difficult to give up. This Gramakata, ordinary talk. Then, after talking comes the mind, right? Tasting, talking, then next is the mind, then anger. These things are disturbing us. So we have to neglect them. That's the best way. Just like sometimes the parents, if they have a child, who are saying, no, I want this, I want this. The parents just let the child go on talking, going to the store. Mommy, I want that. No, the parents don't have to say anything. They just keep going. And the child realizes they're not going to get it. Or something like that. These senses, the mind, they may clamor, but we just neglect. Because we have something better. But I'm just in the bar to take. We get a higher taste than giving up this chewing the chew. Prahlad calls it chewing the chew. And it's a fact. We've been there, done that, seen that. In this life or in past lives, we've tried all kinds of sense gratification, all different kind of bodies, and still, we can't get any satisfaction. Therefore, they're singing, right? I can't get no satisfaction. But I try, and I try, and I try. They can't get satisfaction because they're looking on the wrong side. Satisfaction is there, but we have to come on the spiritual side. And Prabhupada has made it easy for us. Just assist him in his mission. And then everything becomes spiritualized. It's like iron in the fire. You keep it in the fire, it becomes just like fire. It doesn't become fire, but just like fire. So similarly, we don't become Prabhupada, we don't become Krishna, but we become Krishnayas by our contact with the Lord and His holy name. And then it's also mentioned His activities. The Bhakti knows that we just sang that, right? Is Yasomatinanda. So many activities are described in that Bhagavatam. What's Krishna doing? But this is a clear picture. We have a clear picture of God. We're not threatened by somebody who's going to go, this is the only way, or like that. No, we're happy in our meditation on the Lord and His activities. They don't know that God even is a person, clearly. These other religions, dominant religions in the world. They don't have a clear idea. What does He do? Is He sitting on a big throne and the people are coming, you go to hell, you go to... What kind of activity is that? Krishna delegates that to Yamaraj or some Maya. He doesn't get involved. He has his own activities, transcendental activities. From the very beginning, when He came to the earth planet, He was showing these transcendental activities just for our benefit, so we can meditate on them, so that we can hear them and remember them. And then, in times of difficulty, we can be saved, just like Ajamil was saved. This is our goal. We want to be fully Krishna conscious. Now, people would think it's impossible, just like the Christians gave up, more or less. They say Christ is God, and therefore He's free from sin, but I have to go on sinning. But if I accept His blood, then I'll also be saved. But not like that. Christ, when the prostitute came to Him, and He accepted her as a disciple. He took her sin, just like the Guru takes the sin. Then He told her, go and sin no more. Don't go back to your old way of being a prostitute. But this is the injunction of any saint, a guru. Don't sin anymore. I've accepted you, means you're free from sin. But if you go back to sinning, what can I do? Prabhupada was also saying just like that. He says that initiation is the beginning. But then we have to follow. We have to be strict. No illicit, no intoxication, no gambling, no meeting. We've been talking on this theme that it's like this table is standing on 4 legs. So religion has 4 legs: cleanliness, austerity, mercy, and truthfulness. These are the 4 pillars of religion. They're not sectarian. So we have to keep our body clean. We keep our property clean, sweeping the temple nicely. We keep the deity, altar rooms immaculately clean. Prabhupada said there are 2 things of deity worship: cleanliness and punctuality. It means it should be on time. Then, cleanliness, austerity. Austerity means no intoxication. If you take intoxication, then you don't feel like you're doing any austerity. You think you're high. Oh, I feel so good. Why should I take any austerity? But no, we need to take some austerity because we're coming from the material side. Madhavendra Puri, when he became fully realized, then he said, I don't care anymore for rising early, taking a bath, because he was at the spontaneous stage. But we're not there. If we imitate, we'll become degraded. So step by step, we can become liberated, but we have to do it out of duty. Rise early. Chant Hare Krishna. So austerity is there. Then, what was the next one? Cleanliness, austerity, mercy, yes. Therefore, we don't kill animals. We don't eat these kind of things. Even fish and, eggs, no. We don't eat them. They're not offered to Krishna because Krishna doesn't like them. But also because of mercy. Even in the British jurisprudence, or the law of the jury in India, in England, they have a jury, right? They started that system, I think. So, if someone is a butcher, he's not allowed to be on the jury. They know this guy's killing animals every day. Then I don't want him judging because he's a cruel. He's merciless. So mercy. No more cruelty to anyone. We shouldn't be cruel to anyone. Or put them in anxiety. It's hard here in India because the way everybody drives, I don't see how you cannot put people in anxiety. Because if you don't get ahead there, everybody will just cut you off. But we shouldn't put anybody in anxiety. Somebody's crossing the street, beep, beep! But what are we doing? We're just making people anxious. And the 12th chapter describes that. This is one of the qualities of devotee. He doesn't put people in anxiety. It doesn't mean he doesn't correct them sometimes. It's like I was correcting my disciple. I asked for the bag, but he goes in the bag, he's going to give me what he thinks I want. It's like the guru asks, bring me a glass of water. Oh, milk is better than water. I'll bring the guru milk. No, you have to find out what he wants. Don't speculate. Okay, let's read this wonderful purport. Srila Prabhupada ki. In the assembly of Raghunath Das Goswami's father, Haridas Thakur confirmed that simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is liberated, even if he does not chant completely inoffensively. Smarta Brahmins and Mayavadis do not believe that one can achieve liberation in this way. But the truth of Haridas Thakur's statement is supported in many quotations from Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is this statement again? That simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is liberated. Or one can become liberated. In his commentary on this verse, for example, Srila Swami gives the following quotation. Sayam prator vinam bhaktya dukkha vinada vimushyate. If one always chants the holy name of the Lord with great devotion in the evening and in the morning, one can become free from all material miseries. So that's what we try to do. Mangalarti, 1 out of 10. Oh, I can't get up that early, I have to go. No, if you can, then your whole day is auspicious. Because you start on a very auspicious note, you're coming to Mangalarti, you're dancing and chanting. Who else? Therefore it says in the Bhagavad Gita, the time for, for the introspective stage is different than those who are just in trying to manipulate the material energy to get an advantage here. This is our disease. Everyone wants an advantage due to false ego. But we say there's no advantage here. It's wet stool or dry stool. You think, oh, this is so much better. No, it's still stool. So what is the use? There are 4 kinds of opulences that we're interested in this material world. Good birth, good family, like that. Then personal beauty. Then education. Oh, I have to get a PhD for my children. So much important. But we see what is the use of it? It just makes them maya paritaka. They get puffed up with their academic knowledge. Then the next one is what? Well, money, yeah. Money, money, money. Sweeter than honey. Everybody's after money. The money may come, we can use it. Prabhupada was careful about money. He was careful. He used to criticize. You Americans know how to make money, you don't know how to spend it. He was careful that we didn't spend unnecessarily. That's the way we can deal with money, very carefully. Not to be extravagant. This extravagance, Prabhupada said, is what causes all the dramas in the world. Then you have the capitalists and the communists say, no, why should you be extravagant? I want that extravagance. And so make it socialism. Everybody's equal. Take from the rich and give to the poor. But that doesn't work either. Then there's no motive to make money. There's no good system here. The only good system is Varnashram Dharma. That means we have to have an ideal king. Anybody interested in a job? Ideal king of India? No. It's a hard job. You have to be like Yudhisthira, completely neutral. Deal with everybody properly. Deal with the Brahmins in a fully respectful way. You follow their advice. Take tax from the Vaishya. Engage the Sudras. This is the duty of the king. But there's no such. In Kali Yuga, even Vriksha was cursed by the Brahmin boy. That was the beginning of the Kali Yuga. Vriksha was ideal king, so why was he cursed? For a small offense. And therefore he fasted until death. But there's the beginning of Kali Yuga. Now it's worse and worse. There's no way, practically, we can come out of it. The only hope I can see is enough people become devotees that we start influencing the leaders. Oh, that can happen here in India. So many good boys. I was impressed with this, what's it called? We just had in the other temple here. So many young men were serious about no sleeping. Any dreams in there you'd like to share with us? So we can, in other words, imperceptibly, we can have more influence on the world. That's a fact. And it can start here from India. It used to be, they said the 3 best places to preach, because I was asking people a couple of years ago, because I was tired of managing, I wanted to travel and preach, and I asked them, where are the best places to travel? They said 3 places. Bangladesh. But now the Muslims are becoming more envious, right? Because they see our people are so enthusiastic, and how can you be so enthusiastic without Allah? So they cause trouble. Right? So I don't want to go there. Second ideal place, they said, Ukraine. And it's true. Now, of course, because of the war, there's a big upheaval. But previously, so many people, like in Kiev, every time I went there, they had 10 or 15 new brahmacharis. So in the West, that's kind of, exceptional. Here, you have so many. But so, and the third place they said, of course, was India. So I see, India really is the potential for us to explode, so to speak, like Prabhupada wanted. And therefore, he came back to India. And want money and men from the West, just to get this movement going. And now it's going. I'm very impressed. I've been traveling. There's no doubt that this movement is taking off here in India. So purity is the force. Keep yourself pure. Don't be anxious for position or fame. And Krishna will use you. All of you. It's a wonderful field. Of course, from my perspective, there's some things I don't like also. This is working, I don't like. In other words, like coming in the car, I think people just throw garbage on the street. The streets are lined with garbage. Just as we turned around the corner here, the dogs and the crows were fighting over the garbage. I'm really fighting. Why was he like that? Because the crow was there. So can't we keep the streets cleaner? In the West, it's not like this. They don't throw garbage on the street. Only place I saw was Peru. They don't collect the garbage there either. Anyway, that's on the side. But still, cleanliness is one of the principles. If we can preach that to the leaders, the municipality, whoever, isn't there a garbage disposal system? What happens to the garbage here? Decide, huh?
The corporation people collect and they throw it.
On the street?
No, dumping ground.
They collect during the day, but people will throw early morning. People will throw it off. They collect during the day.
Anyway, it turns me off because it's so unclean. You see, people just walking over the garbage. Everywhere you go, there's garbage. And then the dogs and the crows are also interested. They're happy. Okay, that's an aside. It's not our main focus. But it should go as we advance, as we have more influence. We can say, let's improve the cleanliness of the city. Cleanliness is, and we have to be clean. First, we have to set the example. Our ground should be clean. Our deity should be, the altar has to be spotless. Then people will see, when they come here, they'll feel, oh, this atmosphere is so nice. It is true, it is a wonderful atmosphere. And then they'll go back out and see the street, and they'll be more attracted to come here. Because nobody likes dirty things. Therefore, no one is the sex, because then you have dirty things in your heart. Okay. Next paragraph. If one always chants the Holy Name with great devotion, another quotation confirms that one can achieve liberation if one hears the Holy Name of the Lord constantly, every day with great respect. Anandam idam adamena srinam. So we hear constantly every day with great respect. Another quotation says, I'm not going to read the Sanskrit. One should always chant and hear about the extraordinarily wonderful activities of the Lord. One should immediately meditate upon these activities, and one should endeavor to please the Lord. Bhagavatam 11:27. So this is what we're expected to do. Hear about the Lord, remember the Lord, repeat the name of the Lord. These 9 processes of devotional service. Serve the Lord. It's a very simple process, but we have to take it seriously. But there's two lines, right? Vacha and Acha. So this is the first thing. We purify ourselves every day, every morning. And then we preach. We've been reading so many nice quotes. The Prabhupada is encouraging us to preach, pushing us to go out and tell others about this wonderful movement, this Hare Krishna movement, ISKCON. So they both go side by side. If we're practicing nicely, we'll feel inspired, we'll be happy, we want to share it with others. So that's the process. Rise early in the morning, have a good sadhana, and then naturally you want to talk to others about it. It's not artificial. Just like if we see a blind man about to fall in the ditch, any gentleman will call out, be careful! Because there's some compassion in the human heart. Srila Swami also quotes from the Puranas. Apam shashya bhavati smaratam tam ahar nisham. One can become free from all sinful reactions simply by remembering the lotus feet of the Lord day and night. Furthermore, he quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam. Tasmat sankirtananam Vishnur Jagan Mangalam Amhasam Mahatam Apikun Korava Koravaja Didi. Please forgive my Sanskrit. Alankara Nikritam. All these quotations, all these questions prove that one who constantly engages in chanting and hearing of the holy activities, name, fame, and form of the Lord is liberated, as stated wonderfully in this verse. Simply by uttering the name of the Lord, one is freed from all sinful reactions. But if we put the plug back in, we can probably give the example of the fan. If we pull out the plug, but still the fan is going to turn sometime. So we should expect we're going to get some reactions from our past life, from the sinful activities in this life. Therefore, we're advised by Lord Chaitanya to be tolerant like tree. Tree doesn't protest, even you cut its limbs, cut its bark. So similarly, I was telling a story that I just heard recently, how when Srila Prabhupada was traveling somewhere in South India, there was a group of Brahmins, 7 or 8 Brahmins, came into Prabhupada's room. They kind of pushed the room. And the Prabhupada's servant told me this story, or not me, but he broadcasted it on YouTube. Harikesh ex-Swami. So he was a strong guy, and he saw there was something happening here, and he was ready to get physical with them. But Prabhupada signaled no. And then they started criticizing Prabhupada. Why are you making these malicious Brahmins? And like that, they were going on for minutes. They were attacking Prabhupada verbally. And Prabhupada was just sitting there. He didn't get disturbed. He just completely tolerated because they were insulting him. If they insulted his guru, then he gets angry. If they insulted Krishna, then he gets angry. But they were insulting him, Prabhupada just tolerated. And it went on for a few minutes. Then they saw they weren't making any progress. They got up and left. So Prabhupada proved that he was the real Brahmin because he could tolerate. That's the sign, how much we can tolerate on our own account. For Krishna, we don't have to tolerate. Somebody insults Krishna. I tell a story. I was years ago in London, and they have the undergrounds. So I was just starting to go down there. There's a guy there selling papers. I had a dhoti. I was alone, and tilak and shaved head. And he said, "Oh, you're one of those Krishna guys." And he started saying something bad about Krishna. I said, "You better shut up. I'm going to throw you down these stairs." He said, "Oh, I thought you were pacifists." I said, "Well, you thought wrong." So we can show our hood at least. I'm not going to grab the guy and throw him down the stairs. But we can, if somebody insults Krishna, we have to either cover our ears or cut out your tongue or run, otherwise we'll be affected. You don't want to be too tolerant. Yato mat, yato pat. Everything is okay. No. Everything is not okay. If we're pleasing Krishna, it's okay. If we're not pleasing Krishna. Just like Kurukshetra. Why did Krishna? I was criticized by some Jain people here years ago. Why is Krishna inspiring people to fight? We don't accept that. Hey, this is violence. We don't accept violence. But there is a principle of violence. If we don't have proper shachis who can know principles of religion and act on those principles, then the gundas will rise. Just like happened with the King Venu. After he was killed by the Brahmin, then all kinds of disrupting elements came. There's no king. There's no law. The mafia becomes prominent. So we have to have ideal men like Arjuna who are ready to fight on principles of religion. But we have to know what are principles of religion. There is mentioned in the Vedas that there's 6 kinds of aggressors that can be checked. If somebody's coming to kidnap your wife, you can use force to stop them. Somebody comes to you to usurp your land, like that, they're different. Somebody comes with a deadly weapon. Like if somebody comes here to burn the temple, that happened in America. And in Mayapur too, right? They came to destroy the temple. And Prabhupada first said, why you don't have guns? We can protect ourselves, even with guns, if people come to attack. So it's not, this Jain philosophy is ideal. It's not real. And the real world doesn't work like that everybody will become completely non-violent. At the time of death, Ajamil certainly was not very clean. Indeed, he was famous as a great sinner. Furthermore, one's psychological condition is completely disturbed at the time of death. And in such an awkward condition, it would have certainly been very difficult for Ajamil to have chanted clearly. Nevertheless, Ajamil achieved liberation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Therefore, what is to be said of those who are not sinful like Ajamil? It is to be concluded that with a strong vow, one should chant the holy name of the Lord. What is that holy name?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
certainly be delivered from the clutches of Maya by the grace of Krishna. Chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is recommended even for persons who commit offenses, because if one continues chanting, they will gradually chant offenselessly. By chanting the Hare Krishna mantra without offense, one increases his love for Krishna. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prema Umam Arto Maha. One's main concern should be to increase one's attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to increase one's love for Him. So this is our process. We accept everything favorable for pleasing Krishna, we reject everything unfavorable. This is the proper use of the mind and intelligence to ascertain, is this thing favorable for my Krishna consciousness? Will this be pleasing to Krishna? And then we reject if it's not. We accept if it is. We're not blindly following, because we have to live individually. The Guru can't sit on our shoulder and tell us. We have to, according to Guru Sarvashastra, we have to make decisions every day, right? And so this is the criteria. Everything favorable for Krishna's service, we accept. Everything unfavorable, we reject. And it's a simple process. Use your intelligence. Don't cheat yourself. If you're not sincere, then nobody can help you. Father once was asked that. How do we become sincere? He said, no, it's not a technique that you learn. You be sincere. You become sincere by being sincere. If you're sincere, then Krishna can relate to you. People will respect you. Devotees will appreciate your input because you're sincere. That was what attracted me when I first came to Krishna consciousness. I met the devotee. I wasn't so impressed with their intelligence or intellect. I was a student. They seemed like extraordinary people. But I saw that they were so sincere about what they were doing. Really sincere, and that attracted me. And it attracts Krishna. Krishna will be attracted if you're sincerely trying to please Prabhupada. Krishna will see that. If you're cheating, then nobody can help you. You're cheating your own mind. Your own mind will cheat you. Be sincere. Where was I? The chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is recommended even for persons who commit offense. We read it. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:19-23. The verse is, my dear Uddhava, the supreme religious system for human society is that by which one can awaken his dormant love for me. Commenting on this verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes the word bhakti by saying, prema vibhokta ka anya artha asya. In the presence of bhakti, what is the necessity of liberation? So again, Krishna throughout the Gita, man manabhava bhakta, become my devotee. Bhakti vichanami. Only by devotion cannot be known the truth. This is the goal. At every step, why was Arjuna chosen? Because he was my bhakta. Krishna says, because you are my devotee, therefore, I've chosen to give this knowledge to you. Otherwise, Arjuna wasn't a sannyasi. He wasn't a Brahmin. But why was he chosen? Because he was a bhakta. So nobody can stop us in our devotion. Just like Prahlad Maharaj proved. Every attempt was made to check his bhakti, but it didn't work. Because it's another level. It's above the material level. So material influences can't check real bhakti. It only depends on your desire. If you desire to please the Lord, desire to please Srila Prabhupada, nobody can check that. But if you don't desire, then Krishna is not going to force you. He's a loving person. He tells Arjuna after he speaks whole Bhagavad Gita, this is my opinion. Now you consider and do as you think is right. This is God. He's not forcing us. He wants us to be independently thoughtful and choose Him. He wants us to choose Him because He doesn't like to see us suffering here. He knows that if we surrender to Him, we'll be in such an understate, full of joy. But He wants us. He's playing the flute. He's trying to attract us. But He doesn't force us. If we say no, He won't force us. Sometimes I was talking to a man the other day, just here. saying, why doesn't God force us? I would force my son. He had an 18-year-old son with him. If he's going to do something bad, I would say, no, you can't do it. I'm going to smack you if you do it. Why doesn't Krishna deal with us like that? That was his question. Anybody have a comment? God is all powerful. Why doesn't he just force us to surrender? Nobody knows?
He wants us to choose him. He wants us to choose him.
Yeah, why?
Selflessly.
What if we may make a wrong choice? If he really loved us, he would tell us. In no uncertain terms, you better surrender. That's what the Christians say. You're going to hell forever and ever. No, the real answer is that he is attracted to devotion. If you don't have devotion for him, then he leaves you to your karma. That's also very fair. It's just. There's no cruelty there. Everybody's getting exactly what they deserve, what they desire. But he's given a good alternative to the material world. But still, he knows that we're making wrong choices, so he comes to try to convince us not to. He doesn't force because that's not his mood. He's a loving person. There's a difference between love and rape. You can say they look similar. One is for begetting good children, the other is to satisfy the senses and degrade the woman. So there's a big difference between lust and love. He's looking for love, but we're lusty. We want what we want when we want it. We don't care about the circumstance. We don't care who we offend. This is the nature of lust. Right? Chapter 3, text 37. Kamation, prodation, Rajaguna. Arjuna asks Krishna, what is it that forces us even against our will? What does Krishna say? We have to change this lust into love. So this is the process, especially this loud chanting of the holy name. Prabhupada told us in Vrindavan, 1974, I was there. We were having kirtan, and afterwards, Prabhupada came back. He was taking rest, sitting on a bed. So before he rested, Shruti Kirti and I were there, and Prabhupada said, this kirtan is the special mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Don't sleep. I'm telling an important point now. Good for you. You're wearing saffron. Lord Chaitanya, Prabhupada said, Lord Chaitanya emphasized this chanting. This kirtan, especially kirtan, is the strongest anga. And then, let me back up what Prabhupada said. Exactly what he said. He said, this is the special mercy of Lord Chaitanya, this kirtan. It gives us life. And if we don't get life from the kirtan, simply sex life. There it is, boys. Your choice. Of course, sex life, not contrary to religious principle, is welcome. Begetting good children. Then you have good responsibility you have to take care of till the children are grown up. But if you can stay brahmachari, it's easier. That's the fact. Okay, any questions? I'm a passionate New Yorker. But how have I been sannyasi for 50 years? Because I like the kirtan. I come without fail, every morning, every night. And therefore, I get a higher taste. I mean, women approach me sometimes, but I'm not interested because not so much now, I'm 81. But when I was a 30-year-old sannyasi, 40-year-old sannyasi, women with there's a famous prostitute said, Mae West, it's not the man in my life, it's the life in my man. So if you have life, women are attracted. You show you got some chutzpah, the women are attracted. They see it, this guy can protect them. So don't think that you won't be tempted. Even at sannyas, maybe not here in India, but the women, they like the sannyas better because they know it. So many sannyasis have fallen down. So we have to be careful. This is the biggest temptation, illicit sex. Okay, any questions, comments? Everybody's convinced that this was a small question. That's good. Actually, there shouldn't be any question. The question should be, what should I do to please Prabhupada? How am I going to please him today? You should be meditating. Do something. Talk to people. This is the purport of all these books. Is to become Krishna conscious and give it to others. So I think you're doing that because there's so many new people coming. So it's good. And we'll stop here. Bhagavatam ki. Jai. Prabhupada ki. Jai.
Hare Krishna. Could I ask a question? Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Oh yeah.
Maharaj, in the early days you had a lot of association with Srila Prabhupada. So in the later years when Srila Prabhupada disappeared on this planet in a physical form, so how did you continue the same enthusiasm? Because those devotees who were directly guided by Srila Prabhupada, directly they could clarify things and take decisions. Later on, that was not the situation. So how did you keep your connection with Srila Prabhupada alive? And
All right, so the first big test came for me was after Prabhupada left, I saw that the gurus got off on the wrong foot. They were imitating Prabhupada. They wanted to be, their argument was gurus one. Even some of the leading gurus wrote to it. Isn't it wonderful? There used to be one, now there's 11. So they fell into this trap of thinking because I'm guru, therefore I'm perfect. And then they started falling down. So I was active in that guru reform. And at one point, right here in Bombay, or Mumbai, even a senior man like Giriraj Swami was pushing me to accept Kirtan&Lecture as my guru, as my Shiksha guru and my main guide. And you know, it was like a weird time was going on there. These 11 were put on a pedestal, and we were all just like servants. We had to make Yasa Puja books for them. We had to sing Guru Puja for them. At the same time, Prabhupada was, and when Prabhupada was being worshipped, there was one Pujari there, and everybody was at the other end, and the gurus were throwing cookies and people running, and so I didn't buy into it. And if I was thrown out at every temple that I could do, at the time, 81, 80. Then I got a dream from Prabhupada, very vivid dream. And he clearly made it clear to me that I was right and that they were wrong about these things. The big fancy. So then I backed off. I didn't confront them so much. I realized it's going to take some time. And then they started falling down. And then the whole thing changed. You know, the GBC got involved. They realized that something's wrong here. Why all these gurus are falling down? You know, the 11 gurus, how many of them fell down? More than half. So that's a pretty bad record. And then the GBC finally got involved more. And then in 87 they made more gurus. I was also included. And there was a committee, 5-man committee, who went and interviewed each guru and tried to, get them to understand that they're not on the same level as Prabhupada. And they passed resolutions like saying that if somebody wanted Srila Prabhupada as a Shiksha guru, they could be allowed. And the main link, in other words, our is a Shiksha, this is a Parampara. So there, we can, like to know, his Diksha guru, he didn't follow him. He followed his Shiksha guru. So ours is a Shiksha line. So the GBC wisely said, yeah, if somebody feels really attracted to Prabhupada, he should get Diksha, but he should accept Prabhupada as his main. And the guru won't mind that. I have disciples who came to me not too long ago and said, I'm really feeling Prabhupada's presence. I want to meditate on him. I get full blessing, and that relationship with that person is better now because of it. I'm not losing anything. If people want to put Prabhupada in the center, I want to put them in the center too. So that's where we can cooperate, so to speak, to keep Prabhupada in the center. But we do need Diksha Guru. We're not Rikshiks. Because there's a few reasons. Maybe it doesn't affect you, but are there any reasons? There's no reason. So anyway, if you want to know about what's wrong with the retreats, I can tell you. Well, I can tell you one quick thing. Krishna came to reestablish the reciprocal cessation, which Prabhupada appeared to be one. That's one of the reasons. Evam Prabhupada to reestablish. And now they're saying that Prabhupada came to stop the Prabhupada. They think it's stopped now. That's what they're saying. It's stopped. And only Prabhupada's guru can make that judgment. So this is not Prabhupada's rule. But he didn't want us to imitate him either. You know, what did Prabhupada do and what have we done? I've been a guru since 1987. What have I done? I coupled disciples here and there. You know, Prabhupada in 10 years he had a worldwide mission. So I'm happy to be a servant of him. And I never lost my faith in him. And he helped me, like with that treatment, other times also. But why should I give up his service? He's my best well-wisher. And when I was on the planet, sometimes he chastised me too, when he was on the planet. But I always knew he was my well-wisher. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai! Thank you very much. Shri Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to heartily thank His Holiness Vikram Swami Maharaj for his very inspiring association. As we were telling, Maharaj is in India after 22 long years. Maharaj came last in the year 2000. And before that, Maharaj was one of the very early disciples of Srila Prabhupada. In 1969, Maharaj received initiation.
I moved in the temple in 68.
That's right.
I got initiated in
68. And then he has been one of the pioneering devotees in the London Yatra also, when the three couples went and Maharaj was sent by Srila Prabhupada personally from US to London, and later on to Germany, and then to India, then to Australia, then to Japan, then to Taiwan, then to Hong Kong. So he was the pioneer in opening the centers, and Prabhupada deeply appreciated him for that. Also called Maharaj's Supernatural, very rarely Prabhupada called for it. So we would like to thank Maharaj for his valuable association and his wonderful service in the society for the last 55 years now. So let's express our gratitude by once loudly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Please have prasadam now.
That is